The story of Krazy Joe was torn from yesterday's headlines, and it's as terrifying as tomorrow's.
Good morning. Welcome back to Krazy Joe's Concession Stand. I'm Krazy Joe. Today we're going to talk about the new movie from M. Night Shyamalan. The movie is called Trap. It stars the always awful Josh Hartnett and M. Night Shyamalan's own daughter. So let's talk about it. I'm not going to give any spoilers here, but as you know from the trailer, if you've seen the trailer, we find out that Josh Hartnett is a serial killer and that he is at a concert for a Taylor Swift-style superstar played by M. Night Shyamalan's daughter. And the entire concert is set up as a trap to catch the butcher. And no spoilers, the trailer tells us that Hartnett is the butcher. He's there with his daughter watching this concert, and he's got to find a way out. And all the exits are being monitored by police and FBI. So that's our setup. And can he get out? Well, let's start with M. Night Shyamalan is a man with a shaky track record. He is excellent when he's got the right material. And he's truly horrible when he doesn't. I think it's pretty much agreed. Everybody likes The Sixth Sense. Everybody likes Signs. Everybody likes Unbreakable. But then along came The Village. And that's where he started to kind of hit a rough spot. And then after The Village was Lady in the Water, which was much worse than The Village. The Happening was really not good at all. But he kind of made a comeback with The Visit. And then after The Visit, he did Split, and suddenly Shyamalan was back. Shyamalan was making some really good stuff again, followed it up with Old, which was terrible, and then Knock at the Cabin, which is probably the best movie he's ever done. So to say that Shyamalan, you never know what you're going to get, that's pretty accurate. And Trap is one of his better movies. Trap is a very Hitchcockian style thriller where it's suspenseful and you're trying to figure out how this guy's going to get out of this situation. And it's really holds your attention for most of its runtime. The problem is the movie doesn't know where to stop. Now, like I said, I'm not going to give any spoilers here, but this movie reaches a natural endpoint. A spot where you're like, this is where you end your story. But not Trap. Trap keeps going. Okay? But then it reaches another endpoint. You're like, okay, now here's where it's going to end the story. But nope, keeps going. Then it happens again. There's like 4 endings on this thing. It's really a shame because it's great. Like, it's not just good, it's great for most of the runtime. But at the end, you're just looking at the watch and you're like, dude, Shyamalan, wrap this up, man. Wrap this up. It goes on for about 20 minutes too long. This movie should have ended about 20 minutes before it did. Now, I will say this. I've never been a fan of Josh Hartnett. I don't really like the guy. But this is one of his worst performances. I mean, he's truly terrible in this movie. He is supposed to be, again, no spoilers, you know this from the trailer, he's supposed to be a serial killer who has a wife and daughter, kids, and the family doesn't know he's a serial killer. He's that good that he's able to separate the life, the personal, and the serial killer life. That's who the movie tells us this guy is. But the choices Josh Hartnett makes, he plays him as goofy, over the top. Like, you could tell at any given moment he looks guilty, he looks suspicious, he looks like he's lying. He talks to his daughter like she's 2. Like, his daughter is a teenager and he talks to her like she's 2. Like, hey, look at that over there. Wouldn't it be cool if we went and checked that out? And you're like, come on, man, she's a teenager. You're talking to her like why are you talking to a teenager with that tone of voice? He just comes off as suspicious all the time. And I kept thinking, if he had played this more subtle, it would be more believable, because he's trying to evade the police. He's trying to evade the FBI. He's trying not to arouse suspicions, but anybody would have been suspicious of this guy because of the way he was acting. And that was all Josh Hartnett's choices. Like, he should have played it more subtle. So I've never been a fan of his acting, but this is really one of his worst performances. On the flip side, M. Night Shyamalan's daughter, whose name is Saleka Shyamalan, she plays the pop star Lady Raven. And at the beginning part of the movie, she doesn't have that big of a role. She's performing on stage as the singer. But later in the film, she kind of steps up and comes into prominence in the film. She's quite good. She is quite good. She gives a decent performance. And I think this is like her first movie. So she's impressive. And she kind of holds the last half together. Whereas, I don't know, Josh Hartnett, man, he is just goofy as can be. The movie also stars Allison Pill, Star Trek Picard's Dr. Girardi. Dr. Girardi's in this film. She's quite good. So this is a mostly good movie. One of the surprising castings, there's an FBI profiler who's on site at the concert trying to help the police find their guy. And the FBI profiler was very interestingly cast with Disney legend, Parent Trap, That Darn Cat star Haley Mills. Haley Mills as the police or the FBI profiler. I thought that was very interesting casting, and she's pretty good in it. So yeah, ultimately, I'm going to say, Trap is worth your time for the most part. It's really good until it isn't. But there's more good here than bad. Like, if we take the runtime of the film, most of the runtime of this film is good. It just kind of falls apart in the last 20 minutes, which is a shame. But those last 20 minutes can't negate what comes before. Check it out. I think you'll enjoy it. If you start to get towards the end and you got to go to the bathroom and you're like, oh, I can't go now, we're at the ending, you're probably good to go, because trust me, there's like 20 more minutes. Because when you think it's ending, it doesn't end. It should, but it doesn't. So yeah, no, it's solid though. This would be one of Shyamalan's best films if he knew where to pull the plug on it. So not as good as Knock at the Cabin, but solid. All right, everybody, keep wearing those pajamas.
Keep wearing those pajamas
with the plastic feet.
Keep wearing those pajamas.
Tell everyone you meet.
Keep wearing those pajamas
with the back door flap.
Keep wearing those pajamas.
Don't open it, it's a trap.
Oh no,
it's a trap. Some people call them PJs, some people call them jammies. They can come embroidered with big money and no whammies. They can have 100 tiny commander adamas, but no matter how they look, just keep on wearing those pajamas.
Keep on wearing those pajamas. Keep wearing those pajamas.
I know we're having fun.
Keep wearing those pajamas.
And now the song is done.